Hello, my friends. Dorothy here. We're going to talk about the astrology between today's December 4th. So I'm going to talk about the 4th, the 5th, the 6th. And as we get into the 7th, I'm looking at my calendar in front of me and that full moon. I'll post the full moon forecast as a separate video. So hi guys, I'm back answering the call. I was shuffling my cards before we started just to get a little insight for myself. Answering the call came up for me. So, here I am. And of course, and storyteller, right? We're going to do the astrology, like I just mentioned, but if you're new here, welcome. And I haven't been around for a little while, getting over that virus. It took about 2 weeks. I love to pull cards from this deck. We usually do that at the end. And we also use Astro dice. They're kind of fun. It's just like an extra message from spirit. So let's get started. I'm going to talk about the astrology for the next few days while we are building to the full moon. And this is important. The moon is, I'm not exactly in the Gibbous stage yet, but it will be by Monday. So when it's in that Gibbous stage, it's that final 45 degrees before the full moon is when energy is really starting to build. So let's share my screen. I'm going to share the chart with you. And I might have to stop and pause to cough because, this is just what's going on. My body clearing the viruses and the leftover, yuckies. So, excuse me, here we are. I just pulled up a chart for, here's today right now as I am, that's not right now. Let's hit animate the chart and we'll just get to this very moment in time that I'm recording this so you can get to see that over here. No ascendant, no midheaven, no house placements, just because this is what's happening all as an overall picture for everybody. So as that moon is coming to it is in the Gibbous stage now, and as it's coming to be full, we are to focus on the energy of that zodiac sign especially, and it's fantastic. When the moon is in the sign of Taurus, it's in its exaltation there. It loves to be in this sign because it helps us to emotionally connect and ground into what we value the most. Moon in Taurus is what I love, what I value. And that varies for all of us, right? So as the moon is in this sign, and it's going to be in this sign for a couple of days. So it's in there now on Sunday, it's in there all on Monday and most of Tuesday. Focus. This will help us to shift, and we'll do this naturally on what it is that we love, what we value. So looking at Taurus things. So it could be our possessions. It could be earning money, spending money. It can be about being creative. It can be about the focus on our senses, say food, what food looks like, what it tastes like. So we might be focusing on that as well. These are wonderful, wonderful things to be focusing on, especially when we feel like there is stress and tension in our worlds, because that does happen, right? Of course it does. So the positive things we can do while this moon is in Taurus is to focus on what is it that I value, bring it into your current moment and do breath work if you want, or do an art project if you want. Plan some meals, plan some food shopping, plan things like that. That is what we can do. And that is a very mundane way of using that moon in the sign of Taurus, especially as it is, doing its waning, its waxing phase to the full moon. All right. So that's what we get to look at. In the middle of the night, I'm recording this on Sunday, the 4th. In the middle of the night, we did have Venus in Sagittarius still, so very mutable, lots of mutable energy going on in these charts right now, which means let's be flexible and allow things to flow. Venus in Sagittarius squaring Neptune, who is now direct. It went direct a few hours ago as well. Let me get that exact time. On Saturday, the 3rd, Neptune went direct at 7:15 Eastern time. All right. And then a few hours later, and this is Sunday morning, December 4th, Eastern time at 2 in the morning, Venus made a square to that Neptune. So that just gives us this up, and Venus is the ruler of the moon in the sign of Taurus. Here's now. So that's what we have going on. We have this sense of what do I love? What do I value? What's important for me? Neptune stationary to direct. Neptune's going to take a long time to get moving. So it's not like flipping a switch, in my opinion. All right. We can just use that energy in a sense of our meditation, seeing clearly or not seeing clearly, but really trusting our instincts. So sometimes seeing clearly isn't what's important. It's how we're feeling. All right. And that's Neptune and Pisces. Let's move forward. I'm going to move forward to here's Monday at noon. And I just wanted to talk. There's an awful lot going on with the moon in Taurus. It does make that conjunction to Uranus. And that's just after, it says 12:38 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. So just after noon, just before 1 p.m. And as they come together, this happens once a month. They are also together by declination. Look over here where I'm wiggling my mouse. You can see that they're also together by declination. So this is really powerful. Could be in the middle of the day on Monday, there is some kind of shift of what's important and values. And it will vary for all of us, depending on what house this is in. The moon does this once a month, but when the moon does connect with Uranus like this, we do need to be open to things shifting quickly and suddenly. All right. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's a good shift. It gives us an opportunity to get out of a rut, right? And explore something new and different, and that sense of freedom. It is it is a separating aspect as a quincunx to the sun in Sagittarius. So that to me, not overly concerning. Moving on to Tuesday, Mercury squaring Jupiter. Here's that, Mercury at 29, Jupiter at 29. Oh, those final degrees are so important to pay attention to because it's a culmination of all of the energy that planet has been gathering the whole time it's been in that sign. So for example, the whole time that Mercury has been in the sign of Sagittarius, it's been about 3 weeks approximately. It's an approximation, right? Yeah, Mercury's been in Sagittarius since, looks like November, right around November 16th or 17th or 18th. It's somewhere in there. The ephemeris is for noontime. So let's take a look. So Mercury has been in Sagittarius since November 17th. Yes. All right. It was in the middle of the night. So depending on where you live, it was a different date. That being said, Mercury in Sag is always open to being open and honest and even spitting out the truth, whether it's when it wants to be received or not. So when they come together like this, we really have this sense of, there is a whole lot going on here that says, what does it say? I'm looking at my notes. Sorry. See, this is where I'm a little brain foggy still. I'm not in the mood. I haven't quite got back into my my own patterns still working on that. But when I see these two at 29 degrees, Mercury and Jupiter, and the square, which is a mutable square, it's about no boundaries. We really can make big, humongous, grandioso plans, ideas. Don't overdo it. Be careful not to overdo it. That's going to be the most important thing, that we really pay attention not to overdo it. But write those plans down. The moon is almost full. So, everything is really being revealed. We're really feeling the energy amp up and build up. And I love that, again, the moon is in Taurus while it's in this gibbous phase, because it really gives us an opportunity to stay super grounded and focused on what's important for us. Okay. Because we each have our own desires. Next, we have Mercury moving into, that's called ingress, into the sign of Capricorn. This is a cardinal point. The cardinal points are always important to know where they are in your own astrology chart. 0, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, because when any planet moves across that cardinal point, that activates all of them. And that is important in a sense that it's time to implement something. It's time to initiate something. So Mercury steps out of the grandioso energy of Sagittarius and into the what's the right words? Intentional energy of Capricorn. That's where my moon is. My moon is 0 Capricorn. So it's very logical. It's very practical. Again, more earthy energy, but now the moon has already moved out of Taurus and is now in Gemini. So we don't have as much earthy as we could have 5 minutes ago. However, here on Tuesday, 5:08 p.m. Eastern time, as Mercury enters Capricorn, that can help us to feel more, the more intensity around oh, I need to be more logical, more practical, and bringing this to the plate. That is what we get when we have Mercury in the sign of Capricorn. Really organized, building things intensely. Yeah, the Sun and Uranus in a quincunx on Wednesday, not until the evening, but on Wednesday evening. And yeah, that's after. Is that before? That's before the full moon. Yes, here it is, of course. It's just before the full moon. So be on your toes Wednesday night. Just do some vibrational work, if you will, do meditations. It's always fantastic opportunity to do full moon ritual here and now. I think I would do that if I think of it too, I will be doing that. This is the night that everybody's talking about, that oscillation of Mars and the moon, right? That means where they're together here. This is when they're together. This is what it looks like right here. They have to be at the same declination for one to pass in front of the other. And obviously the moon has to pass between us and Mars because, hello, science. So that is the oscillation of Mars. You should be able to see it just after sunset and, throughout the hours. But let's see how long that lasts, because this is called a parallel measurement, and this is called a conjunction, and we're not quite to the full moon. So let's see how long that lasts. Here we are. Let me just get that chart. Here's that full moon chart. I wanted this chart here. Let's open that back up. Here we are. Declination. There we go. Thank you. I just had to grab the right chart. Let's go by hours and just watch to see how the moon will separate from that. See how the moon's separating? Can you see it? It is. It's moving away. Just a few hours later, the Earth is spinning here, and this is the full moon as well. Here's the full moon at, what do we have the full moon at? It's at 11:08. Let's just make this for real. We'll do 11:08 p.m. All right, hit the tab button, and there is the exact full moon in my latitude and longitude. And here you can see that the moon and Mars are separating. Okay, so let's go back in hours. Let's go back in time really quick. Here they are at 6 p.m., 5 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. So just as they get above the horizon, soon as it gets dark, you will be able to see the moon rising very high in the sky, and it will cross over Mars then. So when they come together like that, it can create, that's part of the full moon forecast. I did create it. It's already on my Patreon platform. You're welcome to come and support me there. This is my living. I'm not a trust fund person. This is how I do what I do. Anyways, I'm uncomfortable asking you guys for money. So do what you can. I will do the full moon forecast again. I'm going to go listen to it because I recorded it yesterday and I still wasn't 100% in my head. So I'm going to go listen to it and see what it's like. And I will post that up in another day or two. So that moon Mars conjunction, the way it is, we have many different ways we can use this. We can use this through communicating, but it's really going to be important that we pay attention and we listen. And I'm going to go in depth on that full moon forecast. So you go ahead and be patient, and I'll have that up soon. Or come over and join me at tier 2 or tier 3, and you can have that full moon forecast now. All right, I'm going to roll the die. And when we roll the dice, we take a look at what's important for us. And we ask Spirit, if you will, if there's an additional message. And that's what we get. Now, let's just roll these dice. And we got, excuse me, Jupiter in Gemini in the first house. And so I see that as, hello, I'm going to speak my truth, Jupiter. Speaking the truth in Gemini. That's its opposite sign, but that's where the full moon is. That's where Mars is right now. Jupiter was part of this forecast. So Jupiter and Gemini in the first house is telling us we all need to speak up. We all need to speak our truths. And it's really important that we listen to what's going on around us. That is going to be one of the most important things that we do for ourselves, is to listen. That mutable energy, that Neptune in Pisces, is really important that we trust our instincts, we trust our intuition, we meditate, we spend quality time with ourselves, quiet, contemplation, prayer, meditation, creativity is, getting lost in a piece of art is fantastic. Music. Let's see what the cards have to say. And Spirit of Water shows up, and what's on the bottom? I shuffled a bunch. Answering the call. Who is not answering the call? I'm answering the call. I've been, like I said, been out for a few weeks. Time to get back. Maybe in some different way. Who knows? I don't know. Like, just allow the process to happen. That's really what I'm doing. I don't plan a whole lot some days. And the Spirit of Water, of course, is trusting our feelings, trusting our emotions, and allowing the flow to happen. And we can go down deep, deep, dark circles sometimes, deep, dark, whatever, sometimes too, that deep hole when we get too emotional. And sometimes we can just start, because everything has a positive and a negative spin to it. Everything. We can use any transit that you hear about in a positive way or a way that is not so positive, and it causes tension and stress, or it causes beauty and relaxation and relief. And those are the ways that we can use all of these aspects. And I want us to keep that in mind. All right. I'll be back with the full moon forecast sooner than later. Thank goodness. Blessings, everybody. Thank you so much, all of you, for your prayers, your thoughts. We're all just figuring this crap out ourselves, together. It's just, I went through a normal viral load. I haven't had a virus since about 2017, and I know how I feel when these happen, and I know exactly what to expect, and that is what I expected. Less respiratory than usual, so that's really nice. It's just all right here in my throat. My Taurus rising is still healing, because I didn't talk for like 10 days. I didn't talk to anybody. So anyways, that's my personal story. I'm doing all right, guys. Thank you so much, and blessings. And I will see you. Let me find my off button. I'll see you soon. Namaste.